here to help spread the word about fentanyl and what it's doing to families and how it's destroying families and taking our loved ones and how difficult it is, the aftermath. So this is what we feel that we should do to help with our grieving process and to help prevent people from going through the same pain that we're going through.
I'll live with this pain forever.
He loved his sports, he loved his family, loved his kids, wanted nothing more than to be a great father. Just the addiction took him away from us, and we watched all that slowly go away.
He came into this world fighting. He grew up kind of looking out for the underdog. He was always that person who looked out for everybody. He wanted to protect everybody. He got into baseball, and then he flourished. And by the age of 12, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame out in Cooperstown, New York. And then from there, it just kept growing and growing with baseball, and people all up and down the East Coast wanted Timmy to play baseball for them. So he was not only the athlete, then he was also the protector for all the underdogs still. If kids couldn't play baseball, he made it a point to teach them how to play baseball so they felt like they belonged somewhere. He coached little kids all the way from when he was 11 all the way up until he was about 15 or 16 years old. And he was also coaching on top of umpiring. And then he had his siblings, and then he had to make sure they were involved in baseball. So everything with Timmy was revolved around baseball. He had a dream of playing at Camden Yards. I think the baseball field was a place where he felt safe, and he was able to express himself on the field. He was a catcher, so he had a lot of contact at that home plate. And, you know, he loved that he could have a team to depend on him because they always put him in the fourth spot. He was always the cleanup hitter. And they knew that if they needed him, he was going to make sure that they succeeded. So he was a phenomenal kid with baseball.
He was a great older brother. He's my best friend, too.
It's okay.
He was. That's his nephew. I also have a second son that he didn't get to meet. He has two sons he left behind. He liked to mess with us a lot. He was a good older brother, too. He helped my dad teach our baseball team. So he taught me all I know about baseball, and then I transferred to softball, but you know, the typical, the big brother, I'm gonna boss you around, you're gonna listen to me, you know. Good memories. Always there for me when I needed him. Protected us from a lot.
He loved his baseball. He loved his football. He played baseball from T-ball all the way up 16, 17 years old. And football for like 4 or 5 years. He played high school football, played Little League football before that. He loved his sports, loved his family, loved just being a family person, you know, to be involved with family just made him happy, and loved to his kids, his boys were just, you know, he loved them without any doubt, you know. It just, everything he wanted to do, he wanted to involve his boys, you know. He always wanted to be around the boys. But yeah, he was great in sports, and he had a great foundation. You know, I was raised with playing sports, and I was a firm believer that, you know, being involved in sports help you become you know, to be on a sports team, you got to be a united foundation to be successful, and that same thing as a family, you have to be a united foundation to be a strong family, and I felt like he was off to a great start.
He got into high school and met up with the wrong people, and it took a little bit of a turn. All his traumas from when he was a kid, which was quite a few of them, due to some family members that caused trauma to him. He reflected when he was older with smoking a little marijuana, and then it just kind of grew into opiates, and baseball kind of started to look dim, and we had to get him back on track. And then he got back into baseball, and he met the mother of his children in high school, and they had a child, and things just turned in a different direction. They became partiers.
Childhood, he had some traumas, and I mean, he had a brother that passed away as a baby, and he knew that. You know, he knew him. His name was Brandon. His name is Brandon, and so, you know, he had family traumas that came back, and I think haunted him as he got older. And some of those traumas came from family members that, you know, just unnecessary, you know, and just made life for him as he got older harder, I felt like. And that's when he turned to he just started off slow, marijuana, and then progressively got worse.
He started feeling some kind of way. We got him into therapy to kind of deal with some of the trauma, because we started noticing like his behaviors as he got older. And he got him into trauma therapy, and the trauma therapist said, you know, certain things were triggering him, and that's why we were seeing, you know, the adjustment with behaviors and, you know, the PTSD. So, and versus him wanting to actually talk about what was going on, being older, he didn't want to deal with the trauma, because from what he said, it was just embarrassing. He just wanted to kind of forget about it. It was done. It was over with, though he was acting out. So we still kept him in the therapy. And the more we kind of pushed therapy on him, the more he rebelled. And then he started smoking the marijuana, and then it led to the Xanax and the Percocets and the cocaine. And I kept telling him, you know, you can't do this. And he promised me that he would stop. So he ended up, like I said, having a child. And then after the child, he was going to clean up his act for his son. And he ended up back with the mother of his child. Once they got back together, things kind of took another turn, and they were getting themselves into trouble, and the drugs became a little more predominant with what they were doing. And so he kind of lost that way of wanting to be. He wanted to be a good dad, but he couldn't be a good dad because he was stuck. And he was stuck in that opiate addiction. He didn't know what to do. So we did get him into rehab. They sent him out on Suboxone, which he didn't want to leave on Suboxone because he knew what that was going to lead to. He left on Suboxone, and then he couldn't find a Suboxone doctor. So he started getting it off the street, and then things just grew with his drug choices. And his last time he was in rehab was in 2021. He went to rehab for the last time, and this time he wanted to make everything right for his kids. And he was coming around more, building more relationships with his siblings and his children. Once we got him into rehab, he came out. He was doing great. He was in a hotel right next to us. We were taking care of each other, or him. He was seeing his kids daily. He was taking random drug urinalysis and was passing. And he got back together with his baby mother. And on Halloween, of 2021. And I had asked both parties, him and her, to please just let it be, because he was doing well. And he thought that it was a way to get his family back together with her, the four of them, his two boys, and the mother. So he moved in October 31st of 2021, and he was found on her living room floor December 8th of 2021. And then we buried him on my birthday that month.